Hold up.
Okay, so let's cover rich pins, what they are, if they're important, and what they do. So you might have noticed sometimes when you're looking at some pins on Pinterest, some of them have extra information. Now, I'll let you know what a standard pin looks like. So if you look on the right hand side, it looks like a normal pin. I'm guessing that you think it's got the title, it's got the image, and it's got a little description underneath the image. This is not a rich pin. This is a standard pin. So what's the difference? A rich pin has quite a bit more information on the pin, as you can see from the image on the right hand side. So if you look at the bottom of the pin, it has an ingredients list. It tells you how many portions it makes and how long it takes, as well as a description. So rich pins have greater information about the content versus a standard pin. There's several different types of rich pins, and not just one. So I'm going to walk you through all of them, and so then you'll be able to determine which ones you need for your own business or your clients. Now, the way rich pins work, it's a bit like making a Google search. If you are searching for a term, and then sometimes you might find in the Google search results you see a video pop up, or if you're searching for a recipe, sometimes you may see a recipe pops up with a number of stars that people are giving it. So that is content with rich snippets. People are more likely to click on this type of content because it has more context to it. So I recommend that if you are on Pinterest for business and not pleasure, that you definitely set up the rich pins as soon as possible. It takes 2 minutes, and they're set up again within about an hour or two, so it's very painless. Another good thing about rich pins is the content is dynamic. So if you change the name of the blog post, or if you change the meta description, it's updated all across Pinterest. Now, if you don't use rich pins and you have a blog post out there, you can't really do anything about that blog post. But when you do update to rich pins, all your pins on Pinterest are updated. So you never have to worry about having an out-of-date pin again. So there are 4 different types of rich pins. So I'll go for the first one. You have an article rich pin. So these pins are most probably going to be used by bloggers, people selling information products. On a rich pin, you have a title of the pin, the author of the pin. If it's a blog post, you generally have the date that the post was published, and then you also have a small snippet of text. So that is the small part of the meta description. So if you look at the image on the right hand side, it will show you the information that you find underneath a rich pin. So generally speaking, like I said, if you're a blogger, if you run an information product, if you're maybe in a professional service like maybe law, these are the types of people I recommend activate this type of pin. Now, the good thing is when you install the Pinterest meta tag, it kind of determines what type of pins, rich snippets your website should have, and that can be changed manually if you need to, but half the time you realize you don't have to manually go through changing the settings yourself. The next type of rich pin is a product rich pin. So this is fantastic if you have a Shopify store, or if you have a big commerce store. These are the only platforms at the moment that support product rich pins. And the third least common platform that supports rich pins is Salesforce. Salesforce have a web server that supports the rich pins. So with a rich pin, as you can see from the image on the right hand side, you can see the price. You can actually check out using Apple Pay, or you can use your own card details, and you can check out without actually having to leave Pinterest at all. So I haven't entered any details in there, but you can do that all through the app. It makes it easier for customers because you're taking now maybe 2 or 3 steps for them, rather than them clicking through Pinterest, looking at the description of the website, they're clicking through to the checkout, and going through entering the payment details. So if you have rich pins, it has been proven to increase sales for customers. So if you have any Shopify customers, definitely promote rich product rich pins for them. The good thing is these are things that they don't have to pay for. These rich pins are free, so all it does is give them more exposure for free, and with the right strategy they will see an increase in sales pretty quickly. Next type of rich pin is an app install rich pin. So if you have a client that has an app and on Apple Store and they're trying to increase their downloads, you can tell them about the app rich pins, which allows people to view a pin in the timeline. Most probably it will be an ad, and they can actually install the app by clicking on the button, which will just take them to the Apple Store, and then they're all good to go. And the last pin that I'm going to take you through is a recipe rich pin. This is the pin that you saw in the first example. So the additional information that's added is the title of the recipe, the ratings that is actually being given. So how many ratings have your followers given this recipe? So this could be somebody, so these are ratings that people are given on the actual website. It'll also give people the cooking time and any helpful notes for the recipe, and also give you the list of ingredients that you need to create the recipe. The reason why this is a great resource for food bloggers and the likes is because when people are looking for food ideas on Pinterest, if they see before leaving Pinterest that they have all the ingredients or this looks easy enough to do, they're more than likely to click through to the website after seeing all this information on the rich pin than they would be if they just saw a recipe without any information. Because chances are, if they look at a recipe and it looks like it's going to take a lot of time, which people really don't want to do, they don't want to spend too much time cooking, they might just pass it. But if they see a delicious recipe and they see it only takes 15 minutes and 4 ingredients, they'll click through to your website and then they'll discover more of your content. So rich pins really help drive up not just click-throughs to your website, but it actually drives up engagement. So that's how the rich pins work. So now I'm going to show you how to install rich pins onto your website. Okay, so to install rich pins on your website, you need to navigate to business.pinterest.com/rich-pins. Now, when you get onto the website, you'll see a page that looks like this. Okay, so what you now need to do is you can have a read through the instructions, and it will take you through all the different types of pins like I did: the product pin, the recipe pin, the articles pin, and the app pins. Now, if you're happy with that, just click on Add Rich Pins to your account. And it will tell you how to get started, what you need to do to set it up. If it says first, you need to add the metadata to the content on your site, which is what you've done already by adding that meta description onto WordPress or Squarespace. And then you need to apply for rich pins. So when you get to the website, it will tell you that you need to enter the URL into the validator, which we're going to do. So if you click on validator, now you need to enter a specific URL onto your website. So don't just enter your domain name, actually enter a URL for a specific page. So if I go into rosydosdigital.com and I'm going to say, let's enter my services page, and let's click on validate. So it will tell you that it says that my rich pins are approved because I've already gone through this approval process. But just to give you an indication of the type of information they have my domain name, they have the site name, and my favicon. This favicon is what will show across Pinterest. So if I have a look here, let me just get out of this. Let me just make this normal size again. Right, so you'll see here that there's a small icon on some of these pins, and these are all their favicons. So you might want to update that if you don't want it to be generic. And it will just tell you the URL that they got from our website, and it would tell you the information that they were able to get from this page. So there's no date published and there's no author, most probably because this was a page and not a blog post. So what will happen is, my website has been validated. If your website hasn't been validated, on the right hand side you will see a button that says apply now. You click that and Pinterest will then go ahead and attempt to validate your site for rich pins. It takes about an hour, I'd say, and you will get an email to say that your website has been validated. And from when you get that email, no further action is required. When you go on Pinterest, you will see then that all your pins now have the additional information on there.